So Nick,
Captain.
23-year-old Bradley wants to know. Bit of a more serious topic here today. Nick will probably have better advice here. No offense to him. None taken. Never. But when did you decide you were ready for marriage? I've been dating my long-term girlfriend for 2 years now. We met in college in Kentucky and we both moved to New York City. I came to the city about 6 months before her and got an apartment. When she moved into my apartment. We lived together for 6 months now. We've talked about marriage, or at least a timeline, a few times. We've got a very open and honest relationship and things are definitely moving that direction. So long story short, what are your thoughts on marriage? Timing, discussions, etc.
You know, I used to be actually kind of against marriage when I was in my 20s because I just kind of looked at it as sort of like something people do when they're ready to stop living their life, which is actually not the right way to look at it. When you find the right person, it's actually a great next step in your life where you can actually grow together and expand your horizons a little bit. The issue is, I don't think that in this day and age, and this is just my personal opinion, is I don't think you should get married until you're in your late 20s. And this is what I always tell people is that when you're in your early 20s, you're still trying to discover who you are and sort of what you're gonna bring to the table in a relationship. You don't really, a lot of people, it's been my experience, you don't really have that understanding of who you are until mid-20s, and then you can start developing that relationship with someone. And really, like, I didn't get married till I was 30, and that was actually a great thing for me because I could kind of get out there and do crazy stuff in my 20s and experiment with my career and what I wanted to do. And I was able to move from Southern California up to Northern California. But to answer the base question was, when is it right? When do you know it's right? You never really know it's right. You never know 100% that it's right. And anyone that's out there that tells you, this is fate, this is destiny, like this is my soulmate, this is the one for me, I'm glad you feel that way. But for the rest of us out there, there's always going to be a fair modicum of doubt. But there's a fair modicum of doubt. There's doubt in everything you do. Right? So at that point, you just have to go, am I secure enough in myself and in this relationship and with this person to commit myself to her or him? And if so, if you can say, yes, I think I am, then that's all you need. You got to just kind of take the jump.
Yeah, and besides that, like, obviously I'm in a much different position than you on this, but like I have a lot of friends that have been in very long-term relationships. So like they're all kind of dealing with this question of like, man, when am I going to do this? Because like I'm dealing with some people that are in 8-year relationships, 6-year relationships, and it's really interesting to see people that have been together since high school,
right? And
how they interact versus people that got together when they were 25 to 30.
Yeah.
You know. And it's different time frames and it's different kind of like lifestyles that they live. And it's interesting to see the people that met in high school still kind of see each other as kids. So it's like those relationships, I feel, go on longer before the marriage comes up,
right, because
they still see each other as little kids, so they're kind of growing together. And in a lot of ways, it feels like holding each other back.
Yeah, see, I'm not knocking that. Like,
yeah,
if you met the person that you want to be with for the rest of your life in high school and that worked out, great. But for me, specifically, I needed to feel like I was out there sort of exploring what the world had to offer as far as the opposite sex was concerned. Yeah. And I don't mean that in like a sexual way, I just mean dating lots of people. Because when you date someone, you learn a lot about that person, but you also learn a lot about yourself.
Exactly, and I think that's really important, is that, when the older you are, the more experience you have. And that's just a fact, it's how things work. So it's like the more you know about yourself and what you're looking for, and really it's less about what you're looking for and more about you. It's more about who you are, because the more you know who you are and the more you practice who you are, then all of a sudden someone else that has also practiced who they are, they're gonna meet and it's like, oh, all right, this just works.
Boom. And it's like when the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers got together, right? And there was only 2 of them, but they were like, this is not gonna work. We gotta add 2 more. And they're like, you know what? No, 5. 5 is the magic number. Marriage is not something to be taken lightly. It is a commitment, and you need to make sure that you're ready to commit to someone else when you do that. That's actually the bigger question. It's not necessarily, is this person right for me? Because you know that. You know deep down if you can get along with the person, and if it's someone you can grow with. And it really is sort of like, I don't want to liken it in cold, hard fact terms, but it is like a business.
Yeah.
Right? Where what you bring to what the 2 people in the business bring to the table is incredibly important to how well the business is going to succeed. It is directly related to that success. It is a relationship like anything else. And so what you put in is what you get out of it. And if you have someone on the other side of that table or in this relationship that's not going to put 100% in, it's probably not going to work, because most of the time it's great. Some of the time it's f***ing horrible. And when that happens, that is when you guys have to be strongest together.
I think the most important thing for somebody that's 23 thinking about marriage to do is what you're doing, and talk about timelines. It's less about talking about, should we get married right now? It's more talking about, when is the right time for us? Do I need to pass the bar to be a lawyer? Do I need to do this or whatever? What steps do we need to take? What are we looking at? And timelines shift. It's not like you're locking yourselves into, we're getting married when we're 30, period. It's like, let's see where we're at when we're 30. I hope that if I'm here and you're here, that'll be the right time.
I mean, and if you can honestly say to yourself, look, like, I'm good, this is what I want, this is the next step for me, and you can honestly believe that and you're gonna commit to that, then you're ready for marriage.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Love and Sex Stuff. If you have love or sex questions for Nick and I, go to kindafunny.com/loveandsex, fill out the form. We'll answer them on this weekly show that happens every Monday, 9 a.m. Be there, share it with your friends, spread the love, spread the sex.